Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. I'm happy to have you here. So I figured it's been a minute since I've just vlogged, so I saw my camera just sitting here and I was like, we're gonna try and vlog a little bit today. Right, Luna? So today's an off day from the gym for me. I do have class today. I also have an exam today. I had an exam yesterday too, so it's kind of just like a stressful week. So I'm like, Emily, why are you vlogging? I always do that. I always vlog when I'm in more stressful times. I feel like the pressure just like motivates me. I don't know. But so yeah, I have that exam today, and then after that, I'm actually for my major, I have to take like 3 different anatomy classes throughout the course of my time, but I'm in one of them right now, and my professor actually conducts research at the university, so he's offering us extra credit if we participate in his study this semester. So I'm like, yes, I'm gonna do that. I have to do 6 sessions. I have my 3rd session today. They're basically, he's got like, I don't know, actually I shouldn't say anything. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about what the study's about. I don't know if I can, so I'm not gonna say anything. So that'll be fun. I'll show you guys how I kind of strategize packing meals for while I'm at school. I know a lot of you guys are busy people, and I run into this with clients a lot too. They either have really busy jobs or they're full-time students and they have trouble fitting in their food throughout the day. Yeah, so I guess welcome to the video. I haven't vlogged in a really long time, so this might be kind of awkward. I figured also a kind of fun way to just talk to you guys and communicate with you guys. Like I've talked about a lot lately, I've been in like a big YouTube rut. So I figured it would just be cool to share some of the stuff that I'm learning with you guys in school, because it does generally pertain to health and fitness, which is what this channel is primarily about. So fun thing that we learned a couple weeks ago, actually in the class that I have an exam today, which is strength conditioning. We're talking about gender differences in training in athletes, and one of the things we were talking about was ACL injuries, particularly in females. In females, it's very interesting, and your ACL is your anterior cruciate ligament. That's a very common injury for males and females both. But the thing with females is actually the majority of ACL injuries in females are non-contact injuries. So a lot of times you hear about a football player getting his ACL torn from getting hit by someone. For females, it's a non-contact thing. And part of why females are more susceptible to non-contact related ACL tears is because of what's called valgus knee action. So most of the time it's an issue when it comes to jumping and landing. Valgus is knee caving inward. Varus is your knees going outward, but valgus is knee cave inward, and it's very, very bad. You see people do it a lot when they squat, and for females it's because of the way that our hips set up. We're a little bit more susceptible to it, but a lot of times it happens when female athletes are landing from jumps and things like that. Their knees cave in. So one way, this is part of why I know that big booties are like a trend right now, but it's actually very functionally important to have strong, well firing glutes. And because I'll put like a little clip in here of me showing you guys. So part of the responsibility of the glute medius, which is one of your glute muscles, you have the glute minimus, glute medius, glute maximus. One of the jobs of the glute medius is to externally rotate the femur. So as you can see in this little clip here, when my glutes are not engaged, it's very easy for me to have that knee caving, that valgus action. But then when I go and engage my glutes, when I squeeze them really hard, you know, that thing that happens when you get the really ugly butt, you know, contracting your glutes, your butt does not look pretty. But when you contract your glutes and you squeeze them, part of what happens is your glute medius externally rotates your femur. And so then when you do that, stand up and try this, like as I'm telling you, squeeze your glutes and try and let your knees cave in. They don't want to do it. Just a fun little learning thing for you guys today. It's not about just having a big booty, it's about having a strong booty to prevent injuries and prevent things like ACL tears. So, and I know a lot of you are females, and if you do a lot of like plyometric work, a lot of jumping work, or if you're an athlete that does a lot of jumping work, then you want to prevent ACL tears at all costs. So maybe that could come down to working on some of that valgus knee action that you've got. So strengthen your glutes, use your glutes, they are your friends. All right, so as far as packing meals for when you're at school or when you're at work, when you don't have a lot of time to eat, primary tip number 1, well actually this is primary tip number 1. I had another primary tip number 1, that'll be primary tip number 2. Primary tip number 1 is keep it simple. I feel like so many people try to get super fancy with the meals that they're making, having a bunch of different ingredients in them, having a bunch of like different recipes. Try and keep it as simple as you can, because that's just gonna make it easier to pack and plan for you. So the planning and packing and all that part takes up just as much time as eating it does, if not more, probably more. But keep it simple, so pick a carb, pick a protein, pick a fat if you need a fat, pick a veggie for some fiber, throw it in. Find different combinations of protein sources and veggies and fats that you like. If you want to make it even simpler, pick a protein source that also has a fat component in it, like a fattier meat, like salmon or steak or something like that. Also, try and pick foods that are a little bit more calorically dense, so something like avocado, which is high in fat, salmon, which has protein and fat in it. Trying to pick things that are a little bit more dense so that they take up less space and it's lower food volume, because one, it's gonna be a little bit more compact to pack, so you have more room, like space available to pack your food, but also it's a little bit lower volume. Foods are typically a little bit quicker to eat than something like a massive salad. So literally, like the meal that I had with the black bean burger and the quinoa and the feta and the avocado and the green beans, I literally eat that like walking from one class to another. And you know, if that were like a big salad or something, that would take me like twice the time. So yeah, tip number one, keep it simple. Tip number two, try and keep it calorically dense so that it takes up less room in your bag, it's a little bit quicker to eat, all that good stuff. And then kind of an off-the-wall tip, not really off-the-wall, I know a lot of people are concerned, fitness people are like all about, oh my god, look at my poor little tree, he's healing. But a lot of people are really concerned about their water intake, like, oh my gosh, how to make sure my water intake's perfect, oh my gosh. Which is important because consistency with your water intake will make sure that your fluid and electrolyte balance is even from day to day. So while you will still get weight fluctuations, the more things you keep consistent, the less fluctuations you're gonna have. So if you're somebody that's used to drinking, for instance, I'm used to drinking 1.5 gallons of water a day, I don't want to carry around a 1/2 gallon or gallon-sized jug at school with me. I just don't want to. It's more stuff for me to carry. But I have a 32-ounce water bottle, so 2 of these equals 1/2 gallon, 4 of these equals 1 gallon, 6 of these equals 1.5 gallons. So I know if I fill it up, you know, twice throughout the time I'm at school and drink it, then I've gotten another 1/2 gallon towards my day, or something like that. So get a water bottle that like has a measurement on it. I mean, all of them have measurements on it, but it's easier to have something like a 32 than like a 20, because for a 20 I'd have to be like, okay, well I need like 6 point something of these to have 1 gallon a day. But with this, it's super easy. I've said this, you know, with regards to just flexible dieting in general, creating a meal plan for yourself, but especially when you are a really busy person, having a meal plan that you can just like pack and prepare from day to day instead of having to, you know, tracking is very like mentally taxing and it takes up a lot of time. So if you had to do that every single day because your food sources were different every single day, that would take up, you know, your precious time that you don't really have when you're in school or when you have a really busy job. So keeping things fairly consistent from day to day will save you a lot of time in that regard, and that's where having, you know, a meal plan that you create for yourself within the confines of your dietary limits can be helpful. And another thing with more calorie dense meals is, generally speaking, if you have a more calorie dense meal, you can wait a little bit longer before you eat again than if you, like, for example, that meal that I made, the snack, like blueberries and Brussels sprouts and protein, like that's not a huge meal. That's actually like my driving home snack. LOL. The meal that I made, that's probably around like 500 calories. So having a higher calorie, you know, like 500 to 700 calorie meal, like that will make up a better, that'll keep you fuller longer than, you know, a smaller meal that's like 200 calories. Obviously. So if you have a long day, eating more calorically dense meals that are spaced out over longer periods of time can help. I mean, a lot of us don't have time to be eating, you know, 6 times a day, 2 hours in between. That's not realistic for a lot of people. So if you can get in, you know, 4 meals that are spread out a little bit further and a little bit more dense, that might be more realistic for you. So kind of playing around with meal frequency and figuring out what works best for you, that's gonna be number 1. I feel like everyone thinks I'm super glam all the time. Nah, no, not even close. So it's around 7:30. It's about time for Big Girl's walk. Shh, don't tell her. Did you hear the W word? Did you hear the W word? Oh, goodness, my angel child. As you can see, that's me. Oh, this is so strange. There's like 2 of me. But I've just been editing this video real quick to get it up. The exam went super well. I really liked this professor's setup. So like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, it was a strength conditioning exam, and she set it up as a lot of case studies. So for example, she would give a scenario of a particular athlete, one of the concepts we talked about, and we would have to elaborate on it. So it was definitely a lot more thought process oriented and critical thinking oriented than just like a multiple choice exam, but I really like that because I like this stuff and I like being able to apply it. So I think it went really well. My 3rd study session went well. My other class went well. Overall, good day. And then I finished my exam pretty early, and I scheduled my study session for right after that class would normally have been over, but because I finished my exam early, I had literally like an hour and a half to kill because the exam only took me like 30 minutes. But I was reading this. I picked this up at the church that I've been going to, their bookstore inside the church. It is Shaken by Tim Tebow. And so far I'm 67 pages in. I absolutely love it. So if you're looking for a good read, I would definitely recommend that. I also just finished up this one. It's called The Talent Code by Daniel Coyle. Finished that up the other day, and I really like that one as well. The Talent Code is actually, sorry, I keep cutting my head out. The Talent Code is actually about, it says greatness isn't born, it's grown, here's how. It talks about myelin development and how myelin is one of the critical players in skill development and talent development and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna wrap up the video here. I feel like there were a couple, or at least I hope, there were a couple good nuggets of wisdom in there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna try and do more stuff like this lately, hopefully just sharing with you guys some of the stuff that I'm learning. Learning has always been like the bread and butter of my channel, so like that's part of why I love being back in school too, is because it's forcing me to learn more. Learning's what I love most. It's what I do best, I feel like. And so that gives me more to share with you guys. Those of you that always ask, if you haven't figured it out by now, I'm a kinesiology major. Kinesiology, exercise science, sports science, different schools call it different things, but it is basically the study of human movement as it pertains to exercise and sports and all that good stuff. So that's my major, if anybody was curious. And yeah, that's gonna be it for the video today. I hope you guys learned something cool that you can apply to your own lives. If you did, leave me a comment below. Let me know of other things you'd like to see. If you like this blanket, give me a thumbs up. It's from Target. And I will see you guys in the next video. All right, love you. Bye.